I've been working with AirMaster now for about 8 years, trying to improve indoor air quality in classrooms, reduce carbon emissions to the atmosphere, and reduce the carbon dioxide level in these classrooms. As a ventilation supplier, we've always had a number of carbon dioxide sensors dotted around our offices, some of which have alarms. Occasionally they'd kick off, and someone would announce that we'd reached 1,000 parts per million.
Peripherally, I'd understood that high CO2 concentrations are a major factor for global warming, but I don't think I'd really understood how it really affects me physiologically.
It turns out that in 1904, Christian Bohr found that increasing carbon dioxide levels in the brain had a negative impact on brain function. I'd always assumed that increasing carbon dioxide levels meant that there was less room for oxygen. But actually, carbon dioxide makes up a very small fraction of our air. Like its cousin, carbon monoxide, it's basically poisonous. Since Bohr did his research in 1904, the atmospheric level has increased by about 25%, and his research seems to have been largely forgotten about. Fortunately, quite a few universities are now doing research on the subject, so the evidence is stacking up. In trying to reduce the level of carbon dioxide in our atmosphere, we've made a whole load of improvements to our buildings, including making them pretty much airtight. The sort of schools that you and I went to definitely weren't airtight. They were drafty and leaky, so carbon dioxide could leak out and oxygen could make its way in.
Now I'm only 32, but I grew up in a Victorian classroom. So whenever the teacher thought that the room was too stuffy, and it was probably because we were all about to fall asleep and we were dozing off, she'd open the windows and let in all the cold air.
So new schools are energy efficient, but they're also sealed boxes. We can cite all sorts of reasons for our children feeling tired and finding it hard to concentrate in classrooms, many of which are outside of our control. But one that we can control is the indoor air quality.
As Jonathan had explained, it's the high CO2 concentrations in the surrounding air that make us feel this way. They make us feel tired and unconcentrated and reduce our cognitive function. So we really need to look at how our children are in the schools.
So I now understand the reason for the mission I've been on for the past 8 years. In improving indoor air quality by reducing carbon dioxide in our classrooms, we can improve how our children learn and consequently improve their exam results.
Every parent, they want the best education for their children, and every classroom should be set up for the best performance, the right temperature, the right light and the right air.
As parents, you can take this into your own hands. Carbon dioxide sensors are cheap and readily available online. You can buy one and put it in your child's classroom. What you want to see is a carbon dioxide level of less than 1,000 parts per million.